Hello, guys. Welcome to another exciting episode of Global Agro Connect podcast. And guess what? It's Youth Day of Service. And our podcast today is actually going to be based on that. So I call this the Youth Day podcast. Our topic for this podcast is Transforming Food System, Youth Innovation for Human and Planetary Health. Now, this podcast is going to be unveiling how the food system has actually benefited people and can actually benefit the planet, and the way it has actually done harm to the planet and how to rectify such harm that it has done to the planet. All right, now before we delve in, I would like us to discuss or briefly explain what food system is. Food system includes all aspects of feeding and nourishing people. That is growing, harvesting, packaging, processing, transporting, marketing, and consuming food. So it encompasses all interaction between people and the environment. And in our quest to actually expand agriculture, in our quest to change the way agriculture is being practiced, in our quest to increase our productivity due to the increasing population and increasing demand for food and food produce, there is harm that has been done, or there has been harm that has been done to the environment that needs to be corrected. Now, such as dumping of animal waste. Now, most animal waste that are dumped in water bodies or that are dumped openly can actually contaminate the water, which kills the fishes and humans who depend on that water, while those that are exposed actually emit greenhouse gases and other carbon gases that actually cause different problems for the atmosphere. Now, preservatives that are used in fish and meat products as well to preserve or to increase the shelf life actually have high negative effect on human lives, as well as canned products. Now, most food products actually have been canned. Now, don't get me wrong, the reasons for the preservatives, the reason for the canning is also to preserve for human consumption. But these are actually having different negative effects, aside the positive, but they're actually causing different negative effects to the lives of people, as well as contributing negatively to the environment. Now, overgrazing also destroys the structure and texture of the soil, thereby exposing the soil to soil erosion. Now, the use of inorganic fertilizer also destroys the soil, and herbicide as well kills the natural vegetation, and all these chemicals that are being used or applied in the soil, if done excessively, can actually deposit acidic substances into the soil, making it very difficult for other crops that are supposed to grow there to grow there. Now, most especially, our aim as farmers or aim as food producers is not to damage our climate, right? It's not to damage our environment. But most of the times, unknowingly or unconsciously, in the quest to increase our yield, in the quest to meet the demand or the population requirement for food, or the increasing demand for food, we've hereby erred one way or the other, which has actually caused, or which is actually affecting our climate negatively. Now, what does or can youth do in order to transform this food system, both for human and planetary health? The food system of the country, Africa, and the world at large has been greatly shaken, or would I say affected, by the incidence of COVID over the past 2 years. Now, this issue has hereby caused a great increase in the price of food, as well as other quality of products. Now, it has as well caused tremendous increase in the price of agri-chemicals and agri-inputs or farm inputs, making farming or food production rather too expensive for most farmers, especially those under the small scale. Now, how then can our food system be transformed by our youth? Through our creativity and innovation for both human and planetary health. A sustainable food system goes just beyond growing crops. It starts from before the crop is grown or the livestock is raised. It is all pre-production activity and genetic modifications and other activities carried out to improve the yield of crops and to also service the increasing population. As our population increases, there is great need to increase cultivable area, food production, while preserving the climate for our own benefit. Now, the sustainability of our food system depends greatly on innovative tools, approaches, ideas, creative, modern farming systems being deployed into the industry. And as we know, for these systems to be truly sustainable, it must ensure that it meets the need of the vulnerable or poor ones in our communities in hunger reduction and coping the problem of malnutrition. This means that the system must be pocket friendly for them while it is rich in quality and nutrients to augment the body requirement. Now, for economic sustainability, the food system for economic sustainability must make available jobs for the unemployed to work and earn a living for themselves. Now, when we talk about eco-friendly or environmental friendly farming, our food production system, we refer to ways which we produce our food to service humanity while posing no threat to our environment and the climate in general. An environmentally friendly or sustainable food system is one which conserves the soil, water, air, and our atmosphere in general. The system does all it takes and all that is possible to minimize to the barest minimum the emission of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. This system works on reducing food losses and wastage. And this food system carries out environmental friendly practices such as proper waste disposal, planting of trees and cover grasses, beautification of the environment while the food requirement is being met. Considering the requirements to be met before the sustainable food production system is reached, there is a great need for youth to get involved in this system. There is a great need for youth innovation or youthful innovation and creativity to be channeled to the industry. Now, before I end the podcast, I would like to give brief solution to most of what we call or problems that are actually affecting our climate or how the agricultural system, or let's say food production system, has actually affected the climate. Now, I want to give a brief, balanced state on how each problem can be coped. Now, let's talk about waste disposal. Now, under waste disposal, we have dumping of animal waste, all right, or even waste from industries that are producing food. Now, all this waste, food waste and the rest of them, contribute to carbon emission or emission of other gases that causes harm to the climate, even to we humans. Now, but what if we decide, most especially for the animal waste, to bury them or probably store them in containers where we extract the gases as biogases, which we use to cook, thereby even having positive change or having positive effect on us, or being even useful to we ourselves that are producing it while posing no threat to the environment. And as we know, once those things are, or while the dogs are used to produce biogas, they produce slurry, which doesn't so much stink or produce gases anymore, but can actually be used or serve as manure to your farm. So it's a win-win situation. Second, deforestation. Now, deforestation actually is a major problem whereby trees are cut down but not replanted. Now, there are several places where trees are grown for woodlots. Now, woods that are used for fuel wood for those in the villages. But what if after these trees are being cut down, even before they are being cut down, new trees should be planted? Now, this will help to augment the oxygen requirement for the whole or for that vicinity or for that environment, because once a tree is cut down, you've actually broken down one of the ecosystem's channel to disseminating oxygen and collecting carbon dioxide. The more trees we have, the less gases we have in the atmosphere, or the less harmful gases we have in the atmosphere, because these trees have ways of attracting such gases, using them to manufacture food for themselves and actually giving us back oxygen, which is beneficial to our health. Third, making use of fuels. All right, now going straight or doing all or trying all we can to get renewable energy sources, such as the solar and the rest of them, might not actually be very easy to go for a long or for a large number of people. But why don't we start first? Now, there are several people. Why don't we cut down our use of fuels that contribute to carbon emission? All right. Now, several countries are trying to do this. I know it's not easy, but with youth in the system, with youth in the production system, we can actually try to make this work. Now, there are several youth who have innovative ideas, who have that creativity in them, but most especially or would I say their conditions or their way of life can't actually allow them showcase that creativity. There are ideas to help co-op this, and we all have to bring it out. There are several ways in which we can go about all this, and there are several other problems that has actually been caused by the food production sector. Aside the good parts, now they've been doing a whole lot. The agricultural industry has been doing a whole lot of things for us. As we know, that industry is actually one of the industries that has major interaction with every one of us, because whether you like it or not, you have to eat. You are angry, you have to eat, right? You can't get angry and starve yourself to death. All right. You have children, they'll have to eat. You have animals, they'll have to eat. And all this is produced or is actually made possible through the industry. Now, although the industry is doing this, and industry has been doing this, we actually admit that there are certain things that they are doing that are actually causing little problems. But if we all can join hand, if the youth can join hand and actually try to cope this problem, that is what this Youth Day podcast is all about. Trying to see how youth can actually channel their innovation, their creativity, or their creative ideas into making sure that the world is a better place, that the food production system is a very comfortable system where less problems are caused while more good is done to the atmosphere. Now, the rise in youth to take over and dominate the food system will only improve the food production level while coping unemployment and other related vices. So that is just the little I've actually been able to draft of this topic, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you actually learned a lot from this podcast. It's 12 minutes and 37 seconds already, and I know I've been able to speak to someone out there today to pick up that banner of the food production industry and actually try to transform it whichever little way you can. All right, thank you so much for listening to this episode of our podcast. Enjoy the rest of your day. For your question, if you have any question, our Facebook and Instagram handle, at Facebook we are at Global Agro Connect. All right. Now on Instagram, we are at gac.2020. Now, if you wish to have personal conversations with me, my name on Facebook is Aka Joshua Salvation, aka then Joshua Salvation. You can reach out to me on that, message me directly, and we'll get talking. All right, enjoy the rest of your day and week. As we said, this is a glorious and would I say a very wonderful week for every one of us that is a youth out there. And I hope you enjoy this week to the fullest, all right, to the maximum. And that's all I can say for now. Enjoy the rest of your day and goodbye from me.